Like, if I say I have tea for you, it's tea about me. Whenever I tell my friends, let's have a tea session, it's me telling them about all the shenanigans that I've. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Homebody Chronicles. How's it going? I hope you guys are doing well. I truly mean that. I say that often in my intros, but I really do hope everyone is doing well and everyone is doing their best and continuing to improve in any way that you can and want to. But yeah, I'm one of those people when I ask you how you're doing, I want the real truth. I mean, as long as we have that relationship. I'm not telling you to trauma dump if you don't want to. But yeah, I genuinely hope you guys are all doing well. Before we continue, I've been speaking to the streets, okay? And the streets have mixed reviews on the space fact of the day. Some of you guys like it. Some of you guys are like, just get right into the episode, girl. Stop. But then at the end of the day, it's really up to me. So, yeah, I don't know. I really do enjoy space, in case you couldn't tell. And I really do want to continue talking about space. And I do have a couple space episodes planned. But for now, we're going to pause on the space fact of the day, and we'll come back to them soon-ish. But anyways, I do care to make the streets happy. This is so unhinged. Anyways, long story short, mixed reviews about the space fact of the day. Some of you love them. I love them. Some of you aren't fond of them. That's okay. I'm taking as much feedback as I can. And like I always say, this is not my podcast. This is our podcast. So I'm just here to make the streets happy. Okay, I'm trying. But today we're going to be doing a little bit of a throwback. So today, this is our 10th episode, and I figured I would kind of go back to my roots, if you will, roots of the podcast. So the first episode was more of a introduction and just kind of giving you guys an idea of what some of the things we would cover. And then the second episode was a really fun one. It was 10 things you should do today to make tomorrow better. And today we're going to be talking about 5 more things you should do today to make tomorrow better. And these things are not only to make tomorrow better. These things will make the minute you start doing them intentionally, it'll make your day better, period. Your second better. So, yeah. 5 more things you should know or do today to make tomorrow better. Number 1, minding your business. In every sense of the phrase, guys, mind your business, because the last thing you want to do is have yourself in business that wasn't minding you. Mind the business that pays you. Literally, stay out of places that you don't need to be. I've often learned this, unfortunately, the hard way. I think sometimes what I intend to be, like being an ear for someone, can sometimes turn into someone just spilling nasty gossip. Like I always tell my friends, like, if I say I have tea for you, it's tea about me. Whenever I tell my friends, let's have a tea session, it's me telling them about all the shenanigans that I've. And even still, I'm not, like I said in the beginning, I'm not here to trauma dump on my friends. So yeah, guys, mind your business, mind the business that pays you. And yeah, your life will be better tomorrow and today. Time management, guys. The next one is time management. When I tell you, you can have all these plans and goals and checklists and systems and everything. All these things can be at your disposal. But if you don't know how to manage your time, the time will manage you. And what I mean by that is time waits for no one. If there's one thing that I don't want to say is a limitation, but one thing that's okay, the way I see this is there's a ton of variables that come into play when you're trying to achieve something. And it could be something as minuscule as like trying to wash the dishes, let's say. Let's use that as the example. There's all these variables of what you will need, or the things that you'll need to I guess invest in order to successfully wash the dishes. So you'll need soap, you'll need water, you'll need a sponge, you'll need a sink, bucket, whatever. But you'll also need time. Now, the soap, you can use any soap. You can use, what's a soap brand? Dawn. Do I know any other soap brands? Anyways, that's a variable that can change. You can decide to use this kind of soap one day and then another soap another day. But the point is that soap is what you'll need to get to your end result of clean dishes. You can use a green sponge, you can use a red sponge, you can use any sponge. Another variable. You can use hot water. I mean, you should be using hot water, in my opinion. You can use hot water, you can use cold water, you can use warm water. That's another variable. But you know one thing you can't control, and it's not a variable that you can change and, play around with? It's time. So that's how I see things. You can have all the things at your disposal to reach an end goal. If you don't have time management and you don't learn how to stop wasting your time, unfortunately, you're not going to get there in the time that you should, or B, you're not going to get there, period. And you can have any goal or dream in the entire world. When I tell you it's unlimited, truly, if you want it to be. But the thing is, unfortunately, time is limited. And I feel like a lot of people have this mindset of like, you have time. And on the one hand, I do agree, like you should never rush things, and you shouldn't feel like you're running out of time in a certain way. But at the same time, let's count how many times I said time. There's a level of, you need to be aware that time is limited, time is fleeting, time belongs to no one. Time doesn't care about your excuses. Time doesn't care that you're tired. So you don't have control of time, but you do have control of how you fill it. And I think learning time management skills is very important. I think learning time management skills when you're young is important, because as you get older and you have other, again, variables in your life, you know how to wrangle things and you know how to play Tetris with your time. I know this is definitely something I have to work on. I can definitely waste time. Like, I don't know about you guys, but doom scrolling is a thing. Thankfully, for the last couple months, I have avoided doom scrolling. I mentioned in the first episode, I think, where I would delete the Instagram app off my phone during the week, and then I would get it back on the weekends. Like, say I was doing something fun and I wanted to share, or even just catch up with people, and I would get it back on the weekends. I can thankfully say that recently, even with the Instagram app on my phone, I've been doom scrolling a lot less. And for anyone who doesn't know what doom scrolling is, it's really just sitting on your phone, scrolling for hours sometimes, and not really doing anything, not really taking in anything that you're looking at or being productive. But I can definitely say that a lot of my time management went through the window due to the fact that I would sit and doom scroll. But yeah, time management skills will definitely help you tomorrow and today, like I said. Another thing to know today to make tomorrow better. It's a lot easier to have a peaceful life if you don't invite chaos in the first place. Guys, prevention is better than cure. Now, cures are great. If you're sick and you find a cure, of course, it's amazing. But if you're able to fortify your immune system or avoid certain sickness, that's great too. And you won't have to go through the sickness if you learn how to prevent it. And that goes for a lot of things in life. And in this case, I'm talking about just having a peaceful life. I think a lot of times people just take on so many burdens that they don't need to. And I'm not talking about things that you have to deal with, because at the end of the day, like, you have to deal with life as it's coming at you. But there's a lot of burdens that I myself even take on. And it's like, girl, lay it down. Like, you don't need to be carrying that. And I think sometimes when you start laying down the things that are causing chaos, then you realize, like, there was no need for me to invite this into my life anyways. But that's one thing that I will definitely keep, what am I trying to say? That's one thing I'll keep close to me to make tomorrow better. The next thing that you can do today to make tomorrow better is to actively practice selflessness. So we live in a very selfish world, like, we know that. A lot of people and culture is very much based on how you can make yourself better, which is not a bad thing, or it's a lot of self is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of self, there's a lot of me, there's a lot of I, which I just think is kind of off balance. Again, not all inherently bad things, but out of balance, it is bad. Too much of anything is bad. And so I find myself actively practicing selflessness, whether that's giving of my time. And again, balance is the key here. But I think the reason why I say actively practice is because nothing in today's world and today's generations will help you actively practice selflessness. It's always going to point towards selfishness. And again, like I said, there's balance with everything. There are some things where you do have to be selfish. That's, I don't know, your habits and your morals, your time with God, where you invest your energy, how you invest your energy, the people you have around you. Like, yes, those things I think you should be actively selfish about, in the sense that you do have to think about yourself in order for those things to be beneficial to you. But there's also the side of pouring into other people, where you do need to practice putting yourself in their shoes, essentially. There are a lot of times where you might not want to, I don't know, leave your house to go buy, I don't know, a birthday present for someone, but it's like, you need to put yourself in their shoes. It's like, on my birthday, I really appreciate gifts, and I really appreciate the fact that someone thought of me. So I'm going to take myself out, go to the busy mall, I don't know, spend a little money on Amazon, write them a letter, to show that you appreciate them. But yeah, little things that sometimes may quite honestly inconvenience you are the things that often matter a whole lot to other people. Like in the episode that I did with Eden, she had mentioned that a lot of times true love is shown in how you've sacrificed for that person and how you've shown them that you're sacrificing, in order to truly make them feel loved and seen. So yeah, let's actively practice selflessness. And again, balance is key. But that comes with practice, and that comes with just living life and understanding when to push and when to pull. But yeah, that's it. The next thing is waking up early, guys. people love to say that you have the same 24 hours as Beyonce, but guess what? Beyonce is the only one who has the same 24 hours as Beyonce, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people think that 24 hours is a long time, me, myself included, okay? And if you think about it, of those 24 hours, a good chunk of those you're sleeping, as you should be. Another chunk of those you're eating, as you should be. So waking up early just gives you more time in your day to do what you need to do. And it's as simple as that. Like, I have been trying to wake up early, like even on my weekends, because the way I will have these grand plans for my Saturdays or my Sundays, and then I wake up at, who knows, 11, noon, and like I blink and it's already the next day, you know? So I think waking up early, setting up your day so that you can get done what you need to get done will just make your life better. It definitely, for me, reduces stress. During the week, I do work, so waking up early, I kind of don't really have a choice. But there were times where I wasn't waking up as early as I wake up now, and it's just the amount of unnecessary, like, anxiousness and like nervousness I'd feel like just to kind of rush and race to get everything I needed to get done. It was unnecessary. And like I said before, don't invite chaos into your life. And that was one of the ways that I was inviting chaos into my life. It was also one of the ways that I was practicing poor time management. And I just really needed to reel it in and understand that I do have time if I wake up earlier. Or I have the time that I need to do what I want to do if I wake up earlier. Yeah. So that's 5 more things that you should do today to make your tomorrow better. And it also makes your today better, like I said. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short and sweet episode. A lot of you guys have been asking for visuals and when they're coming. Honestly, I don't have an answer yet. The whole visual side of things is a whole other ball game, so it's not something that is just going to happen overnight. We're working on it. I'm not going to give a timeline, but just know we're working on it. We, as in me, myself, and I. Me, the CEO, me, the marketing director, me, the HR personnel, like, yeah, we are working on it. I have business meetings with her and the team every day. But yeah, I will be, like I said, working on it. There's a lot of things that I want to get right. And by right, I mean just for myself. In order to put out video of the podcast. There's also a lot of editing things that I want to learn before I, put out my first like video podcast. Again, I'm not waiting till it's perfect because at the end of the day, it'll never be perfect and there'll always be room for improvement. But when I tell you, like, there's so many things I'm illiterate in when it comes to video editing and just video in general. So I want to brush up on some things before I commit to doing that. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment, let me know what you want to hear or talk about. Even let me know if you have a certain guest, because I've been having some people ask me if I can have certain guests on. And honestly, I'm down, if they're down. But yeah, let me know what topics you'd want me to cover, or just things you'd want to talk about. If you want to be a guest, hit me up. Let me know. Yeah, of course, again, we have to be mindful of the space that we're in. This is the Homebody Chronicles, aka an introvert's collection of conversations surrounding self-improvement, simple living, and faith. I'm so easily distracted, and I'm noticing it every time I record. Like, we need to, let's think about that. Let's unpack that. But I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys have a great week. Like I said, I hope you're doing well. Um, yeah, and another thing I wanted to mention, if you guys want to get in contact with any of the guests I have on, because I know some of my guests are, like I mentioned, experts in their field. We've had students, 2 design students, I myself as a former design student. If you're interested in those things and you want to learn more, or you want to get into design things, feel free to hit me up. I can hit them up for you. If you wanted to learn more about occupational therapy, whether it's for yourself, someone you know, or even if you want to become an occupational therapist, let me know and I can connect you. Yeah, this is one of the main reasons for this podcast. I really do enjoy connecting people in that way. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Short and sweet, but it was fun. It was chill. And I hope you have a great, productive, amazing, blessed, abundant, easy, beautiful, stress-free week. And if you're on Spotify, again, don't forget to rate and comment. And if you're on Apple Music, again, not Apple Music, guys, the way Apple Podcast doesn't have any like brain space in my brain is actually hilarious. Apple Podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, I'm so sorry to the Apple Podcast crew. I love you guys. I see you guys. You guys are showing up. But when I tell you, it rarely rings a bell in my brain for some reason. Anyway, if you're on Apple Podcasts, rate us a 5. I'm rambling and you guys need to go. Okay, bye.